Hey guys, Nina here, and I'm here to read another chapter of an Eye for Love fanfiction. And I only have 3 more chapters left, and I think I may be reading all of them, or at least 7 and 8. I don't know if I'll be able to have any time for 9, so I'm just gonna get started. Chapter 7. Oh, and in chapter 8, there's, it's basically just a woman, so I'm just gonna warn you now. Okay. Chapter 7. Time skip. I was going back to Angela with some pizza when I got this feeling something was wrong. Very, very wrong. I started running until I reached the cabin and saw Smile passed out on the front porch. I ran up to him to see if he was wounded when I heard Angela screaming from inside. I rushed in and saw Zolgo just feet away from her. I ran and found him, blocking him from Angela. Angela, run, there's a back door in the kitchen, I told her. She quickly did as I said. I turned to Zolgo the moment she's out of the room. Still think you should have left me as a suffering demon, I asked. Not a day goes by where I regret that mistake, he hisses. Our battle ended outside. Blood was oozing from every place my claws had scratched. I could hardly feel my left leg, and my shoulder had a huge gash in it, but I pretended it didn't bother me. Who's the weak one? Who's the weak demon now? I tormented. You'll pay for this, he growled and disappeared. I fell on my knees as I let the pain take over. I was lucky to still be alive. I crunched my shoulder and felt the blood ooze from the wound. Before I could get up, I felt someone grab my other shoulder. I looked over and saw it was Angela. I smiled under my mask as she pulled my arm around her shoulder and helped me into the house. Smile still just started to wake up. How did you sleep through all that? I asked. He might be a dog, but I could tell he was giving me a fuck you look. Angela helped me inside and carried me into the bedroom. Time skip. Jack, you shouldn't move, Angela said as I tried to get up. She had just finished bandaging my wound. I'm a fast healer, and besides, it doesn't matter. Are you alright? I asked, putting my hand on her cheek. I'm fine, Jack, she said. I cuffed her face and pulled her into a kiss. Once we broke for air, I smiled and looked at her. Angela, I love you. Will you let me show it? I asked. She blushed a moment before nodding. Chapter 8. A Lemon. My glasses keep falling off. Taking those off now. Okay. Jack smiled as he pulled me into a passionate kiss. Is this really happening? I asked myself. Soon Jack started trailing kisses down my neck. Yep. It's happening. I let out soft grunt gasps as Jack began sucking and biting my neck. He did this until he finally found my sweet spot and abused it. He was sucking and biting it until it turned purple, leaving a mark showing that I was his and his alone. He kissed his way down back to my lips, and he ran his tongue over my bottom lip, begging for entrance. I opened my mouth slightly as he shoved his tongue into my mouth. Once that was done, he pushed me onto the bed and put even more passion into the kiss. He couldn't get enough of me. He finally broke for her, and Jack tugged at the bottom of my black shirt. I lifted my arms and let him take it off. I blushed slightly and shivered as the cold air hit my skin. Jack pulled me into a sitting position and hugged me. His lips met, meeting with my neck once again. I blushed deeply once I felt Jack unsnap my bra. Jack grabbed it and threw it somewhere in the room. Even though he had no eyes, I could tell he was staring at my now exposed breast. I blushed deeply and looked away until I was hit with a wave of passion causing me to moan, or a wave of pleasure causing me to moan. I looked down and saw that Jack had taken one of my breasts into his mouth while his hand massaged the other. I moaned uncontrollably as he gave the other breast the same treatment. I whimpered a bit once he pulled away. Jack smiled as he pulled the bandages around his shoulder off and threw them on the floor. I was surprised by what I didn't see. There was no scar, no cut. It was as if the bottle with Zalgol had never happened. "Told you I'm a fast healer," he said. Jack crept closer to me, causing me to fall back onto the bed with him on top. I had no idea what he was going to do next until he began pulling down my pants along with my underwear. Now I was laying naked in front of him and face turned red like a balloon. Jack grabbed my legs and spread them apart, leaning down toward my womanhood. I gasped as I felt his tongue run over my cave and finally inside. I moaned lightly as his tongue slowly slid in and out of me. Right as I was about to reach my peak, Jack pulled away and took off his pants and boxers. Jack climbed back on top of me and kissed my cheek. "Are you ready?" he asked. "Yeah," I replied. Jack slowly pushed himself inside me, and I was struggling not to scream in pain. Tears forming at the corner of my eyes as I tried to hold them back. Jack began to pull away, thinking it was a bad idea to put me through this. "Jack, it's okay," I whispered. Once the pain was replaced with pleasure, Jack started at a steady pace. Resisting the urge to pump into me. That was until I began to feel needy. "Jack, please," I moaned. "What is it?" His voice was a bit hard to understand. "Go faster," I begged. Jack nodded and began increasing his pace. Soon my moans had turned into screams as he began slamming into me, his demon urge taking over, and to make an inhumanly pace. "Say my name, Angela," he asked. "Jack," I panted. He dug his claws into the bed with something. "Louder," he growled. "Jack," I screamed. Moments later, we both met arm end. He rolled off of me and pulled me into his arms. "I love you," he panted. "I love you too," I responded before falling asleep in his arms. Okay, lemon all over. Okay, chapter 9, last chapter. Jack's point of view. It's been 2 weeks since my fight with Zogo. I think he's finally given up. Of course, I was always worried for Angela's safety, but I know I'll always be there to protect her from the moment I saw her laying in bed to the moment she kissed me for the first time. I knew there was nothing in this world that could tear us apart. Every time she tells me she loves me, it always makes me think of that fairy tale Beauty and the Beast. Even though I'm not, I'll never be human. The fact that there's one out there in the world who loves just makes me feel so happy inside. I know I'll always be with Angela, my love, my beauty, my angel. The end. All done. Send a request on who you want next. I actually found a Jeff the Killer story. I haven't read it yet, and I also found a Laughing Jack story. So if you want one of those, maybe I could read that. Or if you want a different character like Hoodie or Masky or Miss Dr. Smile, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Dr. Smiley, maybe? Something like that. Or Slenderman one that I will very much regret because I don't really like Slenderman fanfictions, but whatevers. But whatevs. So yeah, anything for you guys, but seriously, do leave comments down below. And yeah, and I'm almost at 20 proxy, so I'm very happy. And if you're new to the channel, proxy are my subscribers, and join the mansion. Subscribe to join the mansion, and yeah, bye bye guys.